Hi, I'm Derek Jafarian. My videos are about leadership, culture, and one simple idea. People are at their best and do their best work when they feel seen. So you probably know that person at work that has mastered the art of looking busy while doing nothing. They show up late, they leave early, they somehow disappear for 2 hours in the middle of the day, and when the deadline hits, they're nowhere to be found. You're the one picking up the slack, and yet they never get fired. At the same time, you're putting in the hours, you're hitting your targets. Everyone considers you a high performer, yet management just pats you on the back and keeps giving you more work and more work. This doesn't make sense. If you've ever felt that frustration, I want you to know something. It is not in your head. There actually is a real systemic reason why this happens, and understanding it might be the most important thing you can learn about modern work culture. We've all been told the same story since we were kids. Work hard and you'll be rewarded. Put in the effort and you'll get ahead. It's the foundation of the entire corporate dream. But the uncomfortable truth is that story is a myth. Well, maybe to put it more clearly, it's incomplete. Hard work by itself doesn't get you ahead. Hard work that is seen gets you ahead, and that is a completely different game. Think about it. Your manager doesn't sit next to you for your whole 8-hour shift. They're not watching you when you solve that problem at 11 at night. They're not there when you calm down an angry customer or fix someone else's mistake before it can become a disaster. They are only seeing a tiny fraction of what you actually do. There are some studies that suggest managers are only aware of about 10 to 15% of their team's real contributions. The rest is essentially invisible. And this is where the lazy coworker slides in, because they figured something out. Somebody walks confidently into a meeting, shaking hands, smiling. Now, everyone kind of sees what's happening. So the thing to keep in mind here is the lazy person isn't stupid. In fact, they might be playing the game smarter than a lot of us. They've realized that in most workplaces, perception matters more than reality. They know that if they're loud in meetings, and if they take credit for group work, if they're visible at the right moments to the right people, they can coast on a fraction of the effort. So they're not working harder, they're just working the system. They've optimized for visibility, not for output. And the part about this that really stings, and it works because the system is broken. Your boss isn't rewarding laziness on purpose. They're operating with incomplete information. They can only reward what they can see. And the lazy person is great at making sure they're the one being seen. So, if that's the game, what's the actual solution? Should you just become louder? Should you become lazier? Should you start taking credit for things you didn't do? I say no to all of that, because there's a better way. And it starts with understanding that this is not a people problem. It's a culture problem. Here's the real issue. In most companies, the only person who can see your work is your direct manager. And they're always busy. They're in meetings. They're dealing with their own fires. They physically, literally cannot observe everything everyone on their team is doing. So the system defaults to rewarding whoever is the loudest, whoever is most visible, whoever is best at self-promotion. It's not necessarily rewarding the best at the actual job. I call this a visibility gap, and it really is one of the silent killers of good culture. Because when hard work goes unnoticed, people will stop trying. Why put in the extra effort if nobody sees it? Why go above and beyond if the lazy person gets the same recognition as the hard worker? Over time, this creates what's called a race to the bottom. Your best people are going to burn out. Your mediocre people will learn to coast. And the lazy people, this is where they will thrive. So, how do you fix a visibility gap? You can't just tell your managers, pay more attention. They don't have the bandwidth. The solution has to be structural. It has to be built into your culture. The only real way to close the visibility gap is to stop relying on one person, the manager, to see everything. When you build a culture where peers can recognize each other's work publicly, consistently, things will happen. You'll notice that it's not just the hardest workers getting recognized. You'll see your entire culture shift. When people start seeing that good work gets noticed, they're motivated to do more of it. When they see that coasting gets exposed, they'll stop trying to game the system. The lazy person can't hide anymore because their lack of contribution becomes obvious when everyone else is being recognized and they're not. You don't have to fire the lazy people. That's the cool thing about this. The culture will do the work for you. They either step up or they'll self-select out of the company. And the people who were thinking about leaving because they felt invisible, they stay because they finally feel seen. If you feel like this video has shed some light on the matter and helped you in any way, you can check the software using the link in the description. And if you want to see the 5 mistakes most managers make that cause good employees to quit in the first place, I break them all down in this video right here. And I'll see you there.